Hey everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to share with you how I store my Simon Says stamp inks. There's plenty of ways that other people do it. This just seems to work for me right now. Not to say it won't change it later, but for right now, this is what works. So let me show you. So I have all of my Simon Says ink in a square container. This container fits perfectly into my Ikea drawers. I've actually purchased the container. I'll tilt it to the side. This container here is actually purchased from Ikea as well. It also has smaller containers that fit inside, but I realized that my ink pads, my Simon Says ink pads, fit into this thing perfectly. So I also wanted to show you how I labeled my pads. I used the Office Depot return labels, and this is in the 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 inch return labels. There's 80 of them per sheet, and you can run this right through your printer off of a Word document. All right, so for each color, I have a label here on the side as well as here on the side. And the reason I labeled them in both places is because in the future, if I choose to turn my pads upward or onto a shelving unit, I will already have the label there. You will also see that there's a tiny bit of space left off to the side. I did that intentionally in case sometime in the future I might want to put the color dot right there. I didn't have to reprint my labels. Now, the reason I didn't do the color dot on any of them is because I keep all of my inks on a ring. So when I'm looking for a particular color, I always go to my ink ring to find those colors. And I'm kind of getting to learn my colors, but kind of visually now. So I didn't actually need to have the little dots on here right now. Now, again, in the future, I may turn to that, but right now I always use my color rings. And also all of my colors are put in rainbow order. So it's kind of easy for me to figure out where everything is because I've laid it out in that manner. Now, some of you have also asked, how do I store my other inks? So let me show you that as well. So for my Memento dewdrops, I just keep them in this tiny container I have here. I found this container, I believe at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, one of those places. And I would try to link everything in the description box below. So in this container here, I have all my Memento dewdrops. And I also have some of my 1x1 Hero Arts. I love keeping them in this container because if I want to grab a handful of ink at one time, I can just easily grab this container, throw it into a bag, and I can be on my way. I'll also show you how I keep some of my 6x6 or my cube size rather. So this container here is where I keep my 4x4 cubes. So these right here happen to be all of my Altenew inks. These containers right here actually came in that larger container that I used for my Simon Says ink. So in that one container from Ikea, you're gonna get multiple sizes of smaller containers. And that's kind of why I went with this system, because it just works perfectly for me. So as you can see, I have all of my Altenew cubes lined up neatly. So if I want to grab my Altenew inks, I can just grab both of these cubes here, pack them in a bag, and go. Now my distress inks I have up on a wall system, and the reason I did that is because I found an older cassette case and they work perfectly in there. I'll show you on another video how I store them, as well as my Memento Luxe ink pads. That is a little bit different than how I stored everything else. I kind of separated out my ink. So if they were more of a watercolor ink, which I consider my distress inks to be, they're kind of stored someplace else. My Luxe inks are very vibrant and juicy pads, so that's why I stored them in that system. But today I just wanted to share with you how I store my Memento dewdrops as well as my 1x1 Hero Art, my all-to-new inks, or my 4-cube packs as I like to call them, as well as how I store my Simon Says ink pads. I hope that gives you guys a little bit of a way of maybe how you can organize your inks as well. But I will have to say the easiest thing for you to do to keep up with your ink colors is to make sure you color swatch them. I do this for several reasons. One, that I can mix and match my ink companies together, but also I know what inks I have, so I don't go out and repeat and buy them. As you guys also know, if you watch me on Periscope, I also inventory everything that comes into my craft room on Evernote, and that kind of keeps me from repurchasing the same things over and over again. So I hope I helped you guys out today of sharing how I store all of my inks, and I will see you guys on another video very, very soon. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and go make something pretty. You deserve it. I will see you guys back here soon, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.